Hey everybody, welcome to Average Guy Opinions. I'm your average guy, John Corelli. This is episode 118, I think. I'm getting lost. I'll number it right when I put it on YouTube. Um, I want to talk, I'm going to get to gun ownership, and not so much gun ownership, but just the proliferation of gun deaths in this country. And in the what I'm going to call the Western Hemisphere of North and South America. Really surprised at the numbers I saw. But I wanted to start off by talking about the Oscars. And it's the only award show I've ever cared about, and I used to care about it a lot. And as you guys, many of you know, I've worked 8 years in the, excuse me, the movie theater industry. About 6 years while I was working my way through college. Another 2 years when I was in Cleveland. I got to general manage a theater there, and at the one the multiplex I worked at in college, I did everything: usher, cashier, concessionist, assistant manager, manager, just did everything you can imagine in that theater. So I really got into the Oscars because I don't know if I'd call it a reverence for film, but I did. It was something kind of cool. It was almost like extra credit for your job by watching the Oscars and knowing who won Best Film and maybe why. And it was nice to talk to customers sometimes because the job can be boring sometimes, and tell them about, hey, this is why this film is good and you'll probably like it. And after it's kind of funny. I hit a low point, and I remember the low point. I don't remember the exact year, but it was probably like 1991, 92. But we used to get a lot of free movies. We would have to do what we called tech screenings. This is back when film was actually on film. It's not anymore. When you go to the movie theaters, it's either a hard drive or a DVD. I think it was DVD for a while, but I think I've heard it's hard drive. Don't really know. Just know it's not film anymore. I'm sure you've seen the footage of the octagon shaped cans where the reels came in, usually 6 reels, reels about 17 to 20 minutes, and the projectionists would have to splice it together and get a soundtrack together and put trailers on there. It was a lot of work, and so Thursday nights were crazy. And part of a Thursday night deal was people would get paid extra to stay and do a tech screening, and like a projectionist would stay and watch a film, and then some of the rest of us would watch films and say, okay, you did a bad splice between reel 3 and 4. You might want to make sure that's a little smoother. You check, we had some soundtrack problems in reel 5, and the Die Hard trailer didn't look very good. Got some platter scratches on this. You got some roller scratches on that. And you got to know stuff, and it was kind of cool. Now, of course, that doesn't exist, which may be good or bad. I mean, I guess everything's digital now, and you're not going to get scratches. And sometimes I kind of like seeing a scratch once in a while because it's like, this is real, and somebody made a mistake here. The movies themselves are big mistakes a lot of the times now. I think maybe I will just go on for 10 minutes about the state of film, why I watch the Oscars. But it's, it's hard because I just think the last 20 years, comic books and comic book movies and Transformers movies, they've ruined the industry. China's ruined the industry. I know we like to blame China for a bunch of bullshit, but they are our biggest customer as far as entertainment. We're their biggest customer as far as everything else. But entertainment wise, the big producers in Hollywood do not care as much about the American public. There's just not enough of us. There's only 330 million of us. There's 1.6 billion of them, or 1.3. It's a lot. They outnumber us. At least 4, probably closer to 5 to 1. That's a lot of people. And now they got some spending cash because we're in their pocket. Because as Max Aguiar enjoyed me saying a couple weeks ago, we are their crack whore. They supply the crack, and we collectively suck their dick financially. We're so far in debt to them we can never pay it off because unfortunately the individuals, us Americans, need everything, and we need it now, and we're not willing to pay a good price and keep American jobs intact for the most part. Some big ticket items like houses and cars. Houses obviously have to be made here because we have to live here, but cars we do pretty well, I guess. But what else is honestly made here that we even use? Not this, not these. We've kind of made this bed for ourselves and slept in it, and now China has. I mean, yeah, despite their human rights records and despite the fact that they're trying to be a communist country, they're by virtue a capitalist entity by just them making all our products that we greedily gobble up for cheap. And anyways, but that's why Hollywood is getting ruined because they care about the Chinese market. Because, like I said, there's 4 or 5 times the customers, and a lot of them have shitty lives and want to go see movies. Back in the nearly 100 years ago in 1929, and the ensuing Great Depression of the 30s, movie theaters survived. Because what people would scrape together money to pay rent, to get food, to get clothes, and then they had anything left over. They said, I gotta fucking think about how I am living in 1930. Prohibition's still on for another 3 years until 1933, so I can't drink my troubles away, at least legally. I gotta see something. I gotta do something to take my mind off of this. So that's why the entertainment business thrived in the 30s, and it still thrives to this day. And I think that's kind of part of my theory about why it thrives in China. It's garbage what we're sending them. Why are people watching Fast and Furious 9, 10, whatever one we're on? I've never watched one of them. I've never watched the Transformers movie. I watched very few comic book type movies. I don't get it. It's not good. It's not cinema. And, Martin Scorsese, one of the best filmmakers in the history of film, got shat upon because he said that stuff's not cinema. Oh, how dare he? What the fuck does he know? Way more than you, way more than me. I don't know how anyone gets off saying, oh, it's cinema. Do you even know what cinema means? Do you know the root word of cinema? I don't. But really, I mean, think about it. Cinema, at least for me, cinema is like a harkens back to a finer time, to big screen, to acting, to writing, to directing and editing. And if you think Michael Bay is a good director and want to watch that crap, hey, go for it. But it's not good. It's not cinema. It's not even fucking good. Yeah, so anyway, I wanted to talk about the Oscars, and I hadn't watched them in years. And my son's like, let's watch them, because sometimes we have watched a couple of YouTubers make fun of the Oscars, like in 2018 and 19. One of those years, they announced the wrong film. I think it was Faye Dunaway and Warren Beatty, who are by no means young and on top of things. And how doesn't the envelope say on it what it is? And they read the wrong one. It was, I think, they announced Moonlight, and it was La La Land or something like that. It was really bad. It was a big faux pas. And it has been very political. Most of the political leanings of those people I completely agree with. I'm a leftist, and so are a lot of people in Hollywood, and they're kind of wacky and Holly weird and all that. But I think for a lot of things politically, I think they're on the nose. And but this one, I was kind of waiting on it. We knew after COVID, and especially, and I wore this coincidentally, but we knew after this whole year of what's gone on with the police and with George Floyd, that it would probably be a year where not only would there be a higher than usual amount of black and female and even Asian and possibly Latino nominees, there would be more winners, and there indeed were. And I have fun because me and my kid Logan, we would just decide, or not decide, we would guess. It's fun, and that's what I used to do back when I'd watch the Oscars in the 90s with my ex-wife. We met at the movie theater, and I think I've told you guys that too. But I would guess, I was the more colorful, more female you were, I was going to guess you for victory. And I was like, at one point, I was like 6 for 8, which is really a good percentage when I was guessing like best film. Nomadland did really well because it was a female Asian director, Chow. I can't remember her first name. It's Naomi Chow, something like that. And it looks like a really good film. Frances McDormand is in it and helped produce it. And Frances McDormand won an Oscar back in '96 for Fargo for Best Actress, and I think she also won Best Actress for this one, which I didn't pick her to win that one. I thought one of the black women, I thought, what's her name? Viola Davis would win, and she did not. But for the most part, it was a very female, very black, or very of color, I should say, Oscars, which was fine with me. But it was weird because it was in, I forgot where it was. But it wasn't, where it usually is. It was in like a big dining hall, which seated a few hundred people. It was nothing like it usually was. And it was just weird because I can see why people are turned off, like the average Joe Schmo guy. The viewership was way down this year, like 10 million viewers versus usually around 20. So the politicization, the probably too much color and femininity for a lot of folks, and just the less formality, I think, hurt the Oscars this year. So that was a lot more than I thought I'd have to say. There's my take on the Oscars of 2020 and a little bit of history about me and the Oscars and me and film. Talk to you guys next time about something that came up at the Oscars. Thanks. Bye.